Well, awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. Hopefully, you get a chance to take a break and relax. Hopefully, this will be a relaxing hour for you because you're going to learn about all the new types of books that are out for Check It Out. If this is your first time here, welcome. I want to extend a warm welcome to you. Uh, so let's get started. This is our table of contents, aka what's the plan for today? We're going to talk about story time standouts. For those of you who are new, you're like, what the heck is story time standouts? Simply put, story time standouts are the best books to use for story times because let's face it, story times are your bread and butter. But I have two story time standouts for you today. We'll cover early readers. We'll cover second and third grade chapter books, picture books, and board book roundup. We'll cover children's nonfiction. Like I said, I have one children's fiction, nonfiction title for you today because there was so much fiction. We'll cover middle grade fiction, teen fiction, graphic novels and manga, and there were a ton of graphic novels, my goodness. I'll also share some books that I'm reading and some announcements. And there we go. Let's see. So for those of you that don't know me, first of all, hello. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. Down below is my contact information. So there's my phone and my email address. Please feel free to reach out. I have visited a lot of libraries this summer. I've gone and visited libraries for programs. People have wanted to have me come out to look at their collections, all kinds of visits. So if you would like for me to visit your library, please let me know. Please email me, call me. A lot of people know that I come out, and when I come out, I bring a goodie bag of books with me for you to keep. So please invite me out. Would love to come see your library. I put two pictures this month that bring me joy. So these are the things that bring me joy. The first picture to your left is this is a spread in my book journal that I have, my reading journal, which I keep a lot of my reviews in. And this was the spread for July. It says, sorry, but I am completely booked. I just thought that was cute. Little Inklings does a great job with their reading journals. They're based out of Canada, and I have to buy it every year early because they sell out so fast. But I just wanted to share that picture with you. The other thing that has brought me joy in this crazy busy month is calligraphy. For a lot of people don't know that I love to do modern calligraphy. I love brush pen lettering. I have a plethora of pens. It's quite pathetic. I mean, I have so many calligraphy pens. I saw this book and I was like, wow, I need to read this. This is a beginner's guide to modern calligraphy and brush pen lettering. That's written by Maki Shimano, but it has great techniques on how to do hand lettering for invitations, cards, journaling, and all kinds of things. I love to make cards. I love to make handmade cards, and I love to do calligraphy. And using the techniques in this, I was able to make some cards. I was able to add some cool things to my journal. While this is not a youth title, this would be great for your adult collection, your nonfiction collection. If you're doing an art program or a card program or a calligraphy program, or if you just need more brush pen lettering or calligraphy books in your collection, definitely pick this up. I really enjoyed it. It has printable tutorials, so if you wanted to copy on a copier, you could. Mara's asked me, did you take a class or just a DIYer? Both, both. So I have really good handwriting and I love calligraphy. I've practiced calligraphy since I was 12. So, okay. So we are going to move to our first section, which is story time standouts. And I don't know if you know this illustrator, but Annie Kubler is fantastic. If you have not seen Annie Kubler's board books, Please grab them. They are fantastic. And these two editions would be wonderful additions to your toddler or preschool storytime collection. The first book is an oldie but a goodie. I put it on here because I thought, well, maybe if you're conducting a toddler story time or preschooler story time, this would be perfect for you. This is called Zoom, 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 and it is great for a space-themed story time. Basically, it follows the song Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we'll be there very soon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. And then at the end of the story, the kids count down from 5 to 1, and then they say, blast off. Super cute, super fun book for toddlers, especially if you got some wiggly toddlers, and of course for preschool. The book to your right is called Five Enormous Dinosaurs. This is a brand new book from Annie Kubler, and it is a counting book. And I put the picture at the bottom to show you can see the dinosaurs. The kids are dressed up as dinosaurs, and the spread says, 5 enormous dinosaurs letting out a roar. And you just see kids yelling, one stomped away, and then there were 4. So it counts down from 5 to 1, and the kids are dressed up in dinosaur costumes as they count down. This would be great for a dinosaur story time. I love the representation in this book. There's all different types of children, all different types of abilities. There's one child that has a prosthetic leg. There's a child that has, with one of their lens in their eyeglasses, is in use. But I love the representation, different skin tones, different abilities. These books are a winner. So please go grab 5 Enormous Dinosaurs and Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Okay, we are moving to 2nd and 3rd grade chapter books. Here we go. Our first book is, actually, it's 2 books. It's the Ava Lynn series. Both of these books are written and illustrated by Vicky Fang. And our first book to the left is called Ava Lynn, Best Friend. That is the first book. And Ava Lynn is a young girl. She is excited for her first day in 1st grade. She's Chinese American. She loves to make lists of favorite things, especially the favorite pets she wants. And she has everything ready to go for her first day. But what she really wants is to make a best friend, just like her sister. Her older sister, Nikki, has a best friend. And she meets a friend at school, and they get along, and they even share food. Ava brings one of her family's dishes to school, and she realizes, oh no, I'm not supposed to do that because, sharing food could give allergies. I loved it just because it shows 1st graders trying to make friends, trying to basically start their year off right. And it just shows that whole kind of the feelings of 1st grade and first everything. So the illustrations are in black, white, and gray, as you can see on the spread there. There are short chapters for children, so that way they're able to pick up the text quickly. And in the 2nd book, which is to your right, I added that on there just in case if it's popular in your town. This is the 2nd book that's coming out. It's called Ava Lynn, One of a Kind. This will be released January 14th of next year. And in the 2nd book, Ava really wants to be good at earning enough tickets to fill a kindness bucket. In her class, Ava's class, she's learning that if you do something kind for someone, that person puts a ticket in your bucket, and whoever has the most tickets by the end of the week, they get to choose a prize. And Ava really wants to choose the narwhal eraser. She needs that eraser. So she has to be sure that she has she becomes the best bucket filler of the week, no matter what, so she can earn that prize. So if you have first graders who are just starting to read, and if you're looking for those beginning chapter books, grab the Ava Lynn series. The next series I have is called the Monty and Leo series. These books are written and illustrated by Sylvie Kantorowicz. And the first book, I have to tell you, the first book had me laughing quite a bit. This is about Monty. Monty loves to greet the day. He loves to visit his library for the favorite book. And Monty loves to sit on their favorite rock. But Monty's day is thrown off when newcomer Leo's in green, Leo is sitting on his rock. Leo grabbed the book Monty wanted, and also Monty's just getting mad. Monty's like, who is this newcomer? And Mrs. Sheep, who runs the bakery, Mrs. Sheep knows all the skinny because she keeps spreading rumors about the newcomer and not to trust him, not to trust them at all. But Monty gets to know Leo and they become friends. So I really like the fact that it talked about how you shouldn't spread rumors and gossip around people because you don't want to judge them until you get to know them. And in this first book, there's a talent show, and everyone shows off their talent, including the dramatic Mrs. Sheep, who I was just wanted to smack her because I was like, oh my goodness, you are just being mean. Stop being mean, Mrs. Sheep. So I really enjoyed A Newcomer in Pocketville. So get the first book, super cute, very short chapters, big text for the kids to read. This is a winner. The second book is going to be released February 4th, 2025, and that's called A Mystery in Pocketville. In the second book, what happens is the two pit friends, Monty and Leo, they attend an exhibit at the public library in Pocketville, and Mrs. Sheep has her precious figurines displayed, but one of her figurines goes missing, and Monty is being blamed for it. But here's the thing, Monty wants to start a collection too, just like everyone else, and they want to display it, but they don't know what to collect to make a collection. So it'll be very interesting how this plays out, and I can't wait for this to come out. Our next selection is called Felix Powell Boy Dog. This is written and illustrated by Aaron and Thrada Kelly, and this received starred reviews in Publishers Weekly. And this is about a young boy named Felix. Felix is 8 years old. Felix loves animals, and he wants to study wildlife biology, and he always listens to the little voice inside his head. While he's shopping at the thrift store with his grandma, he buys a blanket. It's $1. And, Felix is like, okay, it's a blanket, but there's something about this blanket. I gotta there's something about it. And so he purchases the blanket and he plays hide and seek with the blanket with his dog, which is named, get this, Mary Poppins. Isn't that cute? Mary Poppins. So Felix and Mary Poppins are playing hide and seek, and Felix goes to hide under the blanket. Well, when Mary Poppins pulls off the blanket, Felix becomes a dog. And Felix realizes that Mary Poppins can talk. And so Mary Poppins names him Boy Dog. And Felix is now starting to learn what it takes to be a dog, the joys of being a dog. And even Mary Poppins says, can I sniff your butt? Which kids will find very funny. So Felix and Mary Poppins, they meet Madame Graytail, which is this neighborhood street cat who is just hilarious throughout the book. And Felix is wondering, will I become a human again? Hey, Madame Graytail, what do I do to become a human? It takes all the dogs in the neighborhood to convince this street cat to help Felix become a boy again. This was funny, adorable, and it has short chapters. It has black and gray illustrations mixed in with animal facts, and they're woven throughout the story. So if you have a dog lover, give them Felix Powell Boy Dog. All right, if you love cupcakes or if you have fans of the Cupcake Diaries series, guess what? Coco Simon, the author, has now branched out to another series called Cupcake Diaries, The New Batch. The first book is called Emily's Cupcake Magic, and it's illustrated by Manuela Lopez. And if you're not familiar with the Cupcake Diaries, there's four girls that started the Cupcake Diaries. In this in this newer series, Katie, who is from the original Cupcake Diaries, her stepsister Emily has is going to a new school. Her elementary school right now is being renovated. So all the kids in that school are being sent to different schools, and Emily is devastated because her friends are assigned to other nearby schools, and she feels alone. But she recognizes Natalie, who's from her old school, and at least she has someone to sit with during lunch. But she also is introduced to Ren and Elena. And all these girls, guess what they have in common? They love to bake. Um, Emily brought some cupcakes with her to school so that way she would make a friend. And so her cupcakes, she gave them out to the girls and they love them and they want to bake. And it just so happens that the school has announced a baking contest. And so Emily's getting comfortable with the friends there, and she is going to enter this baking contest with them. And they think, oh, well, yeah, you're the sister of Katie. She started the Cupcake Club, the Cupcake Diaries. But Emily doesn't want to be known just because her sister started the Cupcake Club. She wants to kind of start her own path. This has short chapters. It has the black and white illustrations, and it has themes of fitting in, comparing yourself to others, making friends, and friendship. This is roughly for ages 6 to 9. So definitely pick up Cupcake Diaries, the new batch. All right. We are going to move now to easy readers. Here we go. Our first book is called Biscuit Visits the Firehouse. This is written and illustrated by Alyssa Satin Capucilli. This story finds Biscuit, the lovable dog Biscuit, learning all about a day at the firehouse. Biscuit he finds the firehouse bell, he sees the fire truck, and he even meets Dottie, the firehouse Dalmatian. If you are having a fire story time, this would be a wonderful book to have on display or to share for story time. It features repetitive sentences, and the simple, warm illustrations are very inviting. I see in the chat, Laura has pointed out, yes, this is a perfect book. It's perfect timing for Fire Prevention Week in October. Yes, that would be a wonderful thing to have at your library where you have a firefighter come out with the fire truck, talk about fire safety, and maybe they could read Biscuit Visits the Firehouse. So definitely check it out. Our next book is called Pete the Cat, Scaredy Cat. This is written and illustrated by Kimberly and James Dean, and it features the beloved Pete the Cat. And we know that Pete the Cat loves all kinds of books. In this book, Pete is reading true books. That's what they call the nonfiction books in the book, true books, all kinds of books. But Pete has never heard a spooky story. So Bob the cat tells Pete a scary story about a seven-eyed alien with spaghetti arms. And after this telling of the story, Pete is a little scared. So scared that Pete thinks he sees the spaghetti arms and the eyes everywhere he goes. This is a simple beginning reader with big text, simple sentences, beautiful illustrations, fun illustrations. If you have Pete the Cat fans, this will be up their radar. Sketty and Meatball is our next book, and it's written by Sarah Weeks and illustrated by Alex Wilmore. It's about two friends, Sketty, the long-haired sheepdog, and Meatball. They are two dogs who do everything together. They bark, play, sniff flowers, and roll in the grass together. After playing, they take a nice long nap under the lemon tree together. The next day, the friends are tired of barking at the dog and they're tired of playing in the grass. So they decide to go to a dog show and look at all kinds of dogs, big dogs, little dogs, short dogs, tall dogs, etc. But Sketty and Meatball agree that the best kind of dog at the end of the story is a hot dog. You can't help it, hot dog. You gotta love hot dogs. I thought this was sweet. It was just charming. And Kirsten is also saying that it's adorable. Yes, it is adorable. There's 2 to 3 sentences on a spread. It has repetitive sentences for kids, and I love the repetition because it helps them emerge as readers. So get Sketty and Meatball. It actually says, I just got it. It is too cute. Yes, it is very cute. We're going to move now to picture books and board book roundup. And our first book is called Roar Chew. This is written by Charlotte Chang and illustrated by Dan Santat. This received a starred review in School Library Journal, and this is just a beautiful book. This is about a dragon, and this dragon has a nasty cold. And the phoenix is noticing that the dragon has a nasty cold because every time dragon sneezes, it causes the dragon to make a big fiery mess. And so the text will say, roar, chew. And throughout the book, the phoenix is asking the dragon to sit down. In this picture, he's asking the dragon to have some orange ginger tea, have some soup with chrysanthemums, grab a blanket or a scarf to help him heal. So the phoenix is trying to help this dragon heal. But the text says dragons should keep going. Dragons never quit, with a roar. Ching! And the big fiery mess happens, and the phoenix helps to put the fire out. But the tables turn when the phoenix gets sick too. Again, the illustrations are gorgeous. This was a fun picture book to read, very sweet. I could see kids saying, roar, chew. So definitely grab Roar Chew. What Love Looks Like. This is written by Laura Obuobi and illustrated by Anna Cunha. This also received a starred review in School Library Journal, and it's about a little girl who says to Papa before bedtime, Papa, what does love look like? Love looks like a kiss from the sun, snowflakes on your tongue, gifts from the sea. Love looks like you and me. This is a beautiful picture book. The young girl, her name's Afia, through the pictures, she learns that it's the sun, the warmth of the sun, the brook's soothing song, and other gifts around nature that sends her love and shows her what love looks like. But she doesn't have to go far because her papa loves her no matter where she's at, no matter where you are. It's beautiful. It's I called it a nice, sweet snuggle of a book before bedtime. Simply beautiful, simply cute. Definitely grab What Love Looks Like. The next book is Millie Fleur's Poison Garden. This is written and illustrated by Christy Mandan. And this received a starred review in Shelf Awareness. And this is about a town called Garden Glen. Garden Glen is a, quote, picture-perfect place where the houses and the yards are the same. But one tumble-down house outside of town is where Millie Fleur LaFay and her mom move in. And Millie puts together this garden, and it's a unique garden, and she loves this garden. It has grumpy gilly flowers, a sore toothwort, a freaky feckled fig. Try saying that 3 or 4 times fast. Witch's warts, and more. But the townsfolk aren't crazy about Millie's garden. They don't like it. It's not normal, and they've asked her to take it down. But Millie is not deterred. She has a plan. Millie invites her classmates and her teacher at school to the garden, and they instantly love it. I loved this book because it helps celebrate change and what makes us unique. The illustrations are fun, they are unique and clever. It kind of reminded me of a Tim Burton-esque type vibe to it, just because of the individuality of the young girl and of the creatures. And Christine says this book is fabulous. At the end, it talks about how you can introduce snapdragons, yes, and spider plants into your poison garden. And she's got it planned for next month's program. Wonderful. So definitely pick up Millie Fleur's Poison Garden. Okay, I had to mention this book. Pasta, Pasta, Lots of Pasta. This is written by Amy Lucido and illustrated by Meizu Demirag. This received a starred review in Booklist. And if you love pasta, and I know you've got fans that love pasta in your library, this is the book for them. It starts out with ring a ding ding. The doorbell rings. And oh, what did my Nana bring? This is a rhyming tasty book, and it shows kids how this family cooks pasta for a large family dinner. Nana likes to eat lasagna. Nano Titi from Tahini eats spaghetti. Zio Tony from Soshoini, I hope I said that right, loves ravioli. And each relative that comes to the house brings ingredients for their desired pasta, and the kids see how it's cooked. So, for example, the child says, knead the dough like I'm a baker. Roll it out. It's thin as paper. Cut for lasagna layers. More relatives come and make all kinds of pasta. But when it's dinner time, all the food, guess what? It's accidentally dropped on the floor. And the mom says, basta, until someone orders pizza and saves the day. Cute, cute, cute book. This could be for a pasta story time. Just grab it. You won't be disappointed. Okay. I told you we have children's nonfiction, and we have one title that I wanted to put on your radar. I don't know about you. I don't like snakes. I grew up with garter snakes, and I always wondered, what the heck do they do? What do they do? Except for scare people. They scare me. I still get scared. This is called You Are a Garter Snake. This is part of the Meet Your World series. This is written by Lori Ann Thompson and illustrated by Jay Fleck. This is geared for ages 2 to 5-year-olds. And this book shows how garter snakes stretch, how they're born, how they slip and twist, and how they shed their skin. Kids can also learn where they rest, where they like to hang out, especially around the water, and what they spray to stop predators. I did not know that they spray a slippery musk to stop predators. I had no idea. This is a great STEM-based title to add to your collection. There are also other titles in this series if you're interested. They have You Are a Raccoon, You Are a Robin, and You Are a Honeybee. One of my friends, Bethany Fast from the Little Book bookstore in Des Moines, recommended this book. And when I took a peek at it, I thought this is the perfect timing for it because, it's summer, there's garter snakes around. I'm sure children have questions about what a garter snake is and what they do. So definitely pick this up for your collection. Okay, we are going to move to middle grade fiction now. Here we go. Okay, We got a couple of books. There's two on this list that I really for you to get on your radar. The first book to your left is called Faker, and it is written by Gordon Corman, another gem from Gordon Corman. And this is about a young man named Trey. Trey is 12 years old, and he is learning to be a con artist. And he's used to it. He's used to being a con artist because his father has taught him to scope out his rich classmates and identify them as marks for his father's next con job. His father is a professional con artist, and Trey has learned how to do this for a living. But here's the thing. Trey is starting to get a little tired of it. They've moved so many times. It's been him, his father, and his sister. They moved so many times before their victims realize that they've been scammed. But now Trey and his sister and father are living in Tennessee. Trey is attending a middle school there. He's excited to help his father complete the big score. But he's starting to change his mind a bit because he's met friends. He's met two classmates that have Trey rethinking this through. And not only that, Trey gets an anonymous message that says, "I know what you're doing." So this deals with themes of right and wrong, responsibility, actions, and consequences. So definitely grab Faker for your kids. To the right, we have the final book, and it's a series alert. I wanted to make sure you got this on your radar. Anytime I have a series, I put in yellow series alert. This is the last book in the Mr. Lemoncello series, and I'm sad because these books are so fun. This is called Mr. Lemoncello's Fantabulous Finale. I follow Chris Grabenstein, who's the author. I follow him on Facebook, and he had posted this on his Facebook page, so I wanted to make sure you guys knew about it. This is going to be released November 5th of this year, and it's about 13-year-olds. Mr. Lemoncello is getting ready to close this out. He has picked 13 teens who are age 13, including Kyle Keeley, his biggest fan, to compete in the final Mr. Lemoncello's games. The winner of these games will become the new owner of Mr. Lemoncello's entire game-making empire. While this is great, someone is trying to destroy the empire and all that it stands for. So Kyle now has to not only stop this person from ruining Mr. Lemoncello's empire, but do you think he'll win the whole empire himself? It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So get this in your carts for November. Okay, we are going to move now and switch gears to teen fiction. And there were a lot of books that just got announced, so I wanted to make sure you get them on your radar. The first one, I am excited for this. I saw the press release for this, and I'm like, ooh, I'm intrigued. This is the new book from Ransom Riggs. We all know Ransom Riggs. Ransom Riggs, he is the author of the Miss Peregrine series, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This is his newest book that's going to be released next month called Sunderworld, Volume 1, The Extraordinary Disappointments of Leopold Berry. It has already received a starred review in Publishers Weekly. I love the cover design. I love that whole 80s kind of vibe with the whole old VHS tape feeling. I really like that, and I think teens will appreciate that. This is about Leopold. Leopold Berry is 17, and he's grieving. His mother just died, and his father thinks he's useless. So he really doesn't have the confidence. And to top things off, he's seeing some weird stuff in his home of Los Angeles. And what do I mean by weird? There's a glowing trapdoor in a parking lot. There's a man who popped his tooth into a parking meter. Now you think this might be crazy. Yeah, I would think this is crazy too. And so does Leopold. But Leopold is starting to notice that all of these weird incidents, they're from a 1990s cheesy show, a fantasy show called Max's Adventures in Sunderworld. And here's the crazy thing. They're all all these items are from the show, but it's also the same show that his mother loved to watch. So Leopold has found some VHS tapes that his mother had of the show, and he starts to watch it because he's feeling connected, and he realizes that this universe, this Sunderworld universe, is in danger. So he has to muster up the courage to not only save Sunderworld, but kind of prove to himself that he's not useless. He's not useless as his father says. So this is a fantasy novel, and if you have fantasy fans, if you have Ransom Rig fans, get ready because this is going to be big. The next book, I'm going to pull my chat up. There we go. Oops, I see some comments real quick. Oh, Amy from West Des Moines says, oh, Amy says she offered the ISBN for the Riggs book. The one picture went to a different book. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. The next title is called Sunrise Nights. This is a contemporary romance novel, and it's written by Jeff Zenter and Brittany Cavallero. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal, Booklist, Publishers Weekly, and Bulletin for the Center for Children's Books. This is a novel in verse about Jude. He's a photographer from Tennessee, and Florence. Florence is a dancer from Wisconsin, and they both attend a harbor arts camp. Jude has anxiety after his parents' divorce, and Florence is a competitive dancer. She has degenerative eye disease, and she's worried that it will affect her abilities as a dancer. So they meet at this summer camp during the closing celebration, which is called Sunrise Night. There's a bonfire, and Jude is there. He didn't really want to be there, and he sees Florence, and he wants to take a picture of her, but he doesn't, and he doesn't know what to do. So he does talk to her, and from there they go for pizza, and they agree to meet a year later, just like the characters from a movie called Before Sunrise. And yes, this is a real movie. Before Sunrise is a real movie. It's a 3-part series. My husband's crazy about it. But they agreed to meet a year later and have no communication for a whole year. And Jude isn't crazy about this idea, but he goes along with it. The poetry in this book is just sweet. The story kind of has a will they, won't they kind of feel to it between the characters. You kind of sense that, and you want the best for them, and you hope that. And this is just a really good story. If you like novels in verse, if you have teens that like novels in verse and romances, and you want to offer them something different, grab Sunrise Nights for them. This next book I am excited for. This is called The Champions. This is the sequel to the Cheerleaders book, which came out a couple years ago. This is book 2, and it's written by Kara Thomas. This will be released August 27th, so next month. And I loved The Cheerleaders because it was just a murder mystery. And in the previous book, 5 cheerleaders were murdered. Yeah, I didn't know there was going to be a sequel either, Emily, until I was looking through all these journals. And I get emails also about books that are coming out as well, and press releases. But in the previous book, there were 5 cheerleaders that were murdered in Sunnybrook. The killer was prosecuted. 11 years go by, and now we have Hadley. Hadley is a new student. She's moved to Sunnybrook. At school, she's assigned to cover Sunnybrook's football team for the school newspaper. let's face it, Hadley doesn't care about the football team. This is just an assignment to her. She could care less about football. But one of the football players, which they're the Tigers, one of the football players is poisoned at a party. And after this poisoning, Hadley is getting strange emails telling her, hey, stay away from the football team. Don't bother writing about them. So she's wondering what's going on, and she's starting to investigate, and she's wondering if it's connected to the 5 murders that happened 11 years ago. And she's connecting to some of the former Sunnybrook graduates who never left, and seeing if she can connect with them to connect these pieces. So if you like mysteries, if you loved the cheerleaders, you want to get your hands on the champions. Okay, there are a ton of graphic novels and manga. So here we go. Okay, like I said, there's going to be some series alerts, and it's yellow at the top for a reason. So we got a whole bunch of series alerts. To your left, the bad guys, Aaron Blabby, who's the author, he is ending the series. I could not believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, these kids love these books. So the bad guys, and one last thing is book 20. Yes, book 20. And it's going to be the final book. And it's written and illustrated by Aaron Blabby. It's going to be released November 12th of this year. If you've read the Bad Guy series, these books do end in cliffhangers, and book 19 ended on a cliffhanger. This last book is being real tight-lipped about how Mr. Shark, Mr. Snake, Mr. Wolf, and Mr. Piranha, how this story ends, and will they stay reformed animal criminals. But you want to definitely get this in your cart, because I have a funny feeling that's going to be very popular. To your right, we have the follow-up to the tryout. This book is called The Squad, and this is for middle grades. This is written by Christina Soontornvat and illustrated by Joanna Cacao. Yeah, Amy's excited for The Squad. I am excited too. In The Squad, Christina is trying out for the cheerleading squad again. This time around, she feels more confident about herself. She has friends, and her friends are also trying out for the squad. But her big worry is, what if her friends don't make the team? So that you definitely want to grab for your middle graders who are trying out for cheerleading, or if they like cheerleading stories, because this has themes of competition, friendship, belonging, and feeling comfortable in your own skin. So here we go with our next set of books. More series alerts. To your left, Narwhal's Sweet Tooth. This is part of the Narwhal and Jelly series for children, and this is book 9 in the series, and it's written and illustrated by Ben Clanton. There are 4 stories inside this latest edition. Jelly discovers that Narwhal's tusk looks kind of funny. It's not as shiny as what it used to be. And the reason why it's not so shiny is because Narwhal has been using their tusk to hold snacks, like ice cream, cake, brownies, and bonbons. Ooh, a bonbon sounds really good right now. AKA, Narwhal's been using it as a snack saver, and it's making their tusk hurt, kind of like a toothache, only a tusk ache. And on top of that, Jelly helps Narwhal deal with having a bad day. Super cute, super fun. Grab this if you have fans of the Narwhal and Jelly series. To your right, this series I am also very excited about. I got to read a treatment of this, a preview of this, and it's very, very cool. This is called Unico Awakening. This is a kids manga series, and this is book 1 from Scholastic. This is written by Samuel Sateen and illustrated by Guhiru. It's about Unico, this cute turquoise unicorn, very tough unicorn. Unico befriends Psyche, and she's smitten with him. And they kind of live in kind of a, I don't want to say fantasy world, but kind of like where gods and goddesses are at. And in the heavens, Venus is a god and she's a jealous god. And she really doesn't appreciate that Psyche is spending all her time with Unico. So Venus sends spies to kidnap Unico. And instead of killing Unico, this spy hides Unico through time and space. So Unico forgets who they are and that Unico doesn't remember Psyche or anything. Um, so the spy puts Unico on Earth. And while there, Unico meets Chloe the cat. And the cat is helping Unico find his way. However, Venus can still feel the presence of Unico, and she wants him stopped at all costs. They left this completely on a cliffhanger. This is going to be very popular. This is based on a manga series. So definitely you want to get this in your cart. Okay, I loved this series. If you have not read Four Eyes or Pizza Face, please, please, please grab these books. Um, I'm going to start with Four Eyes, which is to the right of the screen. This received star reviews in Booklist and School Library Journal. Yes, Pizza Face was great. The first book deals with Rex, and it's kind of these books are both semi-autobiographical. In Texas, Rex finds out that he needs glasses, and he's beyond miserable. He's dealing with bullies at school. His family is broke. They're at their, last wit's end with money, and he has a lack of friends, and he has a lot on his plate already trying to survive sixth grade. In the second book, Pizza Face, it continues with Rex going to seventh grade. And in seventh grade, Rex is a late bloomer. He's navigating more bullies, he's navigating sports, and he's trying to learn to have confidence with his body, but his body is refusing to stop changing. He needs zit medication, and his mom, she works all the time and she really can't afford it. And so he asks the grandmother for zit medication. I mean, they can't even afford deodorant. And you feel for this kid because these books capture the angst of middle school and the social pressures that come with it. Both of these books are well written. Illustrations are spot on. This is a great addition to your middle grade graphic novels series. Please grab these books. This other book series is wonderful. If you have not read The New Girl, please grab it as well. The New Girl is written and illustrated by Cassandra Kalin. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal and Publishers Weekly, and I adored this book. The girl on the cover is Leah. Leah is 12 years old. She is moving from Romania to Montreal, Canada with her brother Dennis and her family. And while waiting for the plane, she has her first period. And her mother's like, oh, period. Ugh, and it just drives her crazy. At her new school, she's the new girl. She has to learn French. She loves drawing, and it lands her on the school's magazine team, where she has a crush on another classmate. Again, this book also captured that first year angst of middle school very well, dealing with first periods, first crushes. How do you handle cramps? Because in this book, Leah has cramps so bad that she misses school. The illustrations, they kind of reminded me of Doonesbury, that comic strip. Their facial expressions in this book are so expressive. Cassandra left this completely open for a sequel. So this is highly recommended. Grab The New Girl. And this is some big news. Raina Telgemeier has a new book coming out. I am so happy because I'm sure at your library you probably get hey, do you have any more Raina Telgemeier books? Do you have any more Raina, any more Raina books? I got a press release from this yesterday. This is big news. So the book that's coming out in April of next year, April 1st, 2025, is called The Cartoonist Club. This is a middle grade book, and it's written by Raina Telgemeier and Scott McCloud. And it's, according to the press release, it is about four friends, Michaela, Howard, Linda, and Art. These four friends create the Cartoonist Club. The premise is that Michaela has lots of ideas, but she doesn't know how to make them into a story. Howard loves to draw and loves comics, but his dad thinks comics are a waste of time. Art wants to try new things, and Linda loves to sketch in her sketchbook, but she's obsessed with pointing out her mistakes. And so together, these four friends, they create the club and they learn about making comics, using their imagination and creativity to tell stories. Um, this is going to be big. I hope you get this in your cart. And if you don't know the name Scott McCloud is a popular name in the comic book world because he's the author of Understanding Comics, The Invisible Art, and Making Comics. But definitely get this in your cart because that's going to be a hit. Ready or Not. This is a teen graphic novel written by Andy Peretta. This received a starred review in Book Page and Publishers Weekly. This is about four friends who live in New York City, Cassandra, Aaron, Nico, and Marcy. They just graduate from high school, and Cassandra works with her brother in the family restaurant, but she's sad because her friends are leaving. Aaron's going to law school, Nico's going to study music in London, Marcy is studying art in San Francisco, and she's just bummed out. So she asked the group to play Risky Slips. This is a game where they tear up the kids' menu at the restaurant and they write offbeat dares that they have to complete. Some of the dares include sneaking into a nightclub, getting a nose piercing, throwing a rager at someone else's house. But this graphic novel was great because it was filled with laughs, secrets, crushes, and it really shows teens how to cope with adulting, especially when you just graduated. So grab Ready or Not. Another series alert. I love this manga series. It's a webtoon. It's called Unordinary, Volume 2, written and illustrated by Uru Chan. The second volume of the series, it picks up right where it left off. John is a new student. He's a transfer, and a lot of people don't know he has a high level of superpowers. Like he is up there, supreme. All the students at school have superpowers, but his are just like an 11. They're like through the roof. And everyone in the school has a social ranking. And John is at the highest level. And Arlo, he's the blonde-haired individual on the cover. Arlo is supposed to be at the top of the rank, and he realizes that John's powers outrank him. And so they fight. But John's friend and classmate, Serafina, while this is all happening, she's still suspended from school, and she stays at John's place until a group of villains attempt to kidnap Serafina, and they inject her with a serum that stops her from using superpowers. I really like this series because it has a strong storyline, fast-paced manga story. It mixes sci-fi and fantasy elements really well. So definitely grab Unordinary Volume 2. And really quickly, since I have 5 minutes left, this is what I'm reading. Break to You, that is a teen novel by Neil Shusterman, Deborah Young, and Michelle Nolden. This is getting a lot of positive buzz. It was starred in School Library Journal, and it's about two teens. They're incarcerated, but they fall in love at a detention center. Adriana is part Black, part Moroccan. She's in juvie for 7 months, and during library time, she leaves her journal in the library, and Artorius, who's 17, he finds it, and he leaves a note in there for her and smuggles it back to her via the Compass Library. Um, and the journal is a lifeline for them because it's told through poems and it sheds a light on juvenile incarceration. So far, it's pretty good. The book down at the bottom, I saw someone said, "Ooh, I just got Gamerville." It is called Gamerville. That is a middle grade graphic novel, and it's written and illustrated by Johnny Christmas. Johnny Christmas, for those of you, we should know that name. He wrote the novel Swim Team. It's a great book if you have not read Swim Team. Gamerville received a starred review in Publishers Weekly. It's about Max. He's a video gamer. He wants to participate in the championship game, and he's made the semifinals, but his parents are like, "Hey, you spend way too much time on the video game. We're going to send you to Camp Reset, where electronics are forbidden." And so Max he's forced to socialize, eat healthy, and spend time outside. So this book is really focusing on human connection and why human connection is so important. And I cannot agree more. Absolutely. Up at the top, Joelle Wellington has written another teen horror novel, which I'm excited to get into. This is called The Blonde Dies First. This got a starred review in School Library Journal, and this is about 17-year-old Devin. Devin has a twin sister, and her friends, they do something really, really stupid. They summon a demon through a Ouija board, and they realize they need to put this demon back where it belongs or it's going to kill them. This book uses horror movie tropes and it kind of flips the script. And I love seeing Black girls survive. I love seeing Black girls thrive and actually have a voice. I really enjoyed Joelle's first book, Their Vicious Games. So this is a completely different novel, and I can't wait to read it. And I'm just looking at the comments. Yes, the Bachman books. My other book that I'm reading is the Bachman books. This was actually a find. I found this at a vintage shop, and it has 4 of the short stories in here by Stephen King, including Rage, which is one of the books that is like Stephen King's has been trying to pull off the shelves. So I bought it and I've been reading it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's great. So that is what I'm reading right now. And some quick announcements. Pop YS Live is going to return. We're going to have Shake Up Your Story Times Wednesday, August 21st from 1 to 2 p.m. This session is going to cover the best practices for engaging kids and families during and after story time. We'll talk about early literacy and why early literacy and school readiness activities benefit young kids, and your resources to make your story time planning a success. You can register online on Iowa Learns for this session. And if you do not know, we are also having a supercharged Story Times Iowa cohort. That is going to be September 6th through November 15th. We are going to have 6 weeks where 12 to 15 Iowa librarians will be selected to go through 6 modules of this curriculum. This commitment involves doing 2 to 3 hours of homework, so watching videos and doing readings. You would need your supervisor or director approval to participate. The meetings are bi-weekly. There'll be 90-minute discussions via Zoom and contributing to discussions during these meetings. But this is an overview of what we'll talk about: early literacy and engaging parents, vocabulary, background knowledge, storytime assessment, equity, and growing a storytime practice. Applications are going to be due by 4 p.m. Wednesday, August 21st, and selected applicants will be notified Friday, August 23rd. What I would do, I would ask your director. We emailed this info to your director, but if you get the Pop YS newsletter, look through the June newsletter and the July one that's coming out this week. The application will be there as well. And just make sure you know we pick out 5 winners for the Check It Out prize book pack. If your name is selected, your prize will be sent via Iowa Shares. This month we had Colleen Lowitz, or excuse me, for June, Amy McGraw, Dara Sanders, Bailey Miller, and Carly Sewer. And that is all I have. That was a lot, my goodness. And I'm just looking at the questions. Emily says, is the cohort meant for those new to story time, or would it be good as a refresher, strengthening story time practice? Great question. This is for people who are new to story time, or if you're veterans just looking to freshen up your story time skills. That's a great question. Thank you. Let me see what else I have. Wow.
Lots of info today, Janeé. Great. That's wonderful. Lots of fun things
And I've
out there.
hit it right at 12 o'clock. I
Yes,
can't believe
good.
it.
Perfect. Again, everyone, we're just gonna tell Janeé thank you for this presentation. It was amazing as always. Lots of good info, and it looks like lots of carts are full now of all these books. So yay for you. But we'll get everyone checked off in the attendance, and then you'll get an email for those evals. And we just want to say thanks again, everyone, for coming today, and hopefully see you next time.
Thanks, guys.